this is Maria. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to share with you the importance of sensory play and why do you want your children to get messy. Also give some ideas at the end of this video what kind of sensory bins and activities you can have on hand to easily pull it out and present it without lots of preparation and lots of cleanup afterwards. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm a mother of two. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and I work in the industry of childhood development and education. I do social media for pediatric therapy, plays for school, and lots of other after-school activities. So I have access to occupational, speech, physical therapists, also Montessori teachers that have a wealth of knowledge. And when I, as a mother, find something that excites me and I want to share with you, you get a video. So in the first 3 years, your child depends on their senses a lot. It actually how they grow and develop their brain. Their prefrontal cortex development is connected to all of those sense of smell, touch, hearing, and all of those things. And the sense of touch, it actually starts really, really early. It's while your baby's still in your womb. That's why you want to pat your baby, pat your belly, and then that connection continues to grow. What does the sense of touch tell babies about the environment? It tells them if the environment is safe. It helps to form bonds with people. It also gives them this understanding of when to run, when to hide. So, that fight or flight kind of instincts. So they all learn it through the sense of touch. They learn about the environment. And you know that babies, their tactile senses is probably one of the first things that they try to figure out when they start grasping all kinds of things. And that's why you want to provide your child with all of those grasping toys. I did a whole video on great materials to introduce at the very early stages. Now, why is messy play? I'm sure you've seen all those Pinterest inspired pictures on Instagram or wherever you're looking of babies digging into pasta, babies playing with colored beans and all those things. And for some parents, it might seem like a lot of work and without any reason. Well, there is a reason for it. This actually sensory playing lets your children explore the world. It stimulates their brain development, and also opens them up to a lot of textures. As kids grow older, they get to toddler age, and a lot of the times toddlers get much more picky. They become more picky eaters. They get picky about the textures they want to touch or not touch. And you want to expose your child up until like the first 2 years of life to as many textures as possible to have their senses. Touch also helps your children transition from a traditional grasp to a more defined grasp, and then a pincer grasp, a proper grasp for writing. So for them, when they are handling all those objects, when they're playing, they develop in their hand muscles. That's another way of their body being prepared for a preschool education and starting school in the future. And here where comes the red flags. If you protect your child from a lot of mess, if you also try to shelter them from, don't get too messy while you're eating, that can result in them having certain sensory issues, being sensitive to certain structures. Sometimes it might not cause anything, but there are cases where a child will become a picky eater just because they haven't been exposed to enough textures at the early stage, or they can have some other sensory issues like they won't like to touch certain things. And exposing them as much as possible is a great way to eliminate. Now, messy play is messy, and if you've been a subscriber of mine and watched my activities, you know I am by no means am scared by messy play. I love my kids digging in dirt, in sand, making stuff. But today I want to share a few ideas for you if you want to just to ease into sensory messy play. And here's a few things that I have prepped traditionally. So this is one of my son's favorite sensory bins. It's tiny, it's just a Tupperware, not very pretty. But I have this farm animals in there, and this is just beans. I switch out all kinds of scoops and things, utensils that he can use it with it, because it also helps them develop fine motor skills, define the pincer grasp, use of utensils, and many other things. So this is one of the simplest ones. Both my children really love it. It's not very messy because it is beans and they're bigger. You can do the same with popcorn. Another sensory activity that is not messy pretty much at all is having a tub with water, some ice, and some shapes inside there that your child might enjoy. You can talk about hot and cold. You can talk about ice and water. It's a great opportunity for you to develop speech and communication with your children. My daughter really used to like it from about 1 to 2. It was one of her favorites. This is an outside only, and it's a little messy. So this is a dinosaur egg. We've made this is flour, coconut oil, and I believe it was turmeric. You can add any kind of natural spices. I incorporated how we did this in one of my videos on Messy Play. I'll link it for you so you can see the whole recipe. But this actually stays usable for a long time. We do it only outside. I'll tell you that one because it is flour. It gets kind of everywhere, and turmeric can stain things. But what we do, we just kind of make dinosaur eggs and then they break it down. They really love it. There are many kids for slime nowadays. I actually use just Elmer's glue and I use the solution that they do. The reason I do it because kids actually like making it and participating in steps of making it. If you're not a slime person, which I feel like it's a good way to practice the skill, but here is something. I got this for my kids for Christmas. I mentioned it in my What I Got My Kids for Christmas video is a stocking stuffer. This is Thinking Potty from Crazy Orange. So what it is, I was actually excited to review it for you, and it's a pretty cool thing. This is like, it's almost like a slime, but it's not sticky, so it's not gonna stick to your clothes or your skin. It also glows in the dark, so if you like hold it up under the light and then go in a dark room, it glows. It bounces if you make a ball. So if you're looking to incorporate sensory playing, and it's not like Play-Doh, it can be pulled. It's not as gooey as slime, but it still can be that first step for you to get introduced because it is totally not messy. What we also do, I like give my kids little animal shapes and they stick them in here. They put little glass beads in here. So you can pretty much do anything of that kind. And I have another one too. It's Enchanted Unicorn. Both of them glow in the dark. This one glows in the dark amazingly. My daughter loves it. So this is a great alternative. Honestly, Play-Doh is obviously awesome. You can make homemade Play-Dohs. I've done it in one of my videos. And the cool thing about homemade Play-Doh, you can incorporate your children in making it, and it makes the whole activity even more fun. Last sensory idea that I want to share with you today is this little box from National Geographic. Let me show you the cover. I mean, this is Dinosaurs, and it's a morphing matter. It never dries out. It's almost like a sponge, and then it falls apart. This could be messy depending on your child. My daughter, when she plays with it, I have no problems with. My son plays with it, who's 2. It gets a little more messy, but it is really cool. You can see it like it has a life of its own. Very cool explorational material to have. And if you have a dinosaur lover, it's awesome. This was also actually a Christmas gift, and he loves it. Another really cool sensory exploration activity that is not messy and it will include a lot of development of speech is having a mystery bag. In our mystery bag, we have a fuzzy rock, a shell, a coin, a piece of wood of some sort, and something fluffy like a cotton ball. And usually I get my children to stick their hand in there, and we describe the structures and we describe how different they feel from each other. It also is a great way, again, to develop communication and expand the vocabulary. Other than that, make sure your kids have enough exposure. If they get messy, let them be messy. That's their time to learn. And if they're eating and they're all covered, my son is, teach them how to clean up. Eventually, they outgrow this whole messy stage. But you definitely want them to be exposed. You want them to be digging. You want them to be experiencing all those textures as early as possible on a safe level, right? You're not going to give it to 12 months baby that will put it in their mouth. So use your best judgment when you watch this video. Hopefully it was helpful. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below, and I will see you soon.